Okay, I think we're live. Yay, it's not Paul, it's me. It's Ben. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Paul James Show for a Thursday night. What is it? The 26th of February. Paul is not here tonight. He is either at the Wiggles concert or is it the Ninja Turtles coming out of their shell musical, something like that. Regardless, he can't be here. He's not available. He's called in sick, however you want to spin it, Paul. But he's made me step up to the plate and cover him again. And the season hasn't already started and he's taken sickie, so I don't know what's going on, but that's what it is. So let us know how you feel about that in the chat. But yes, I'm happy to be here. I'm very happy to be here, and we've got some Cats footy to talk about. Thanks for joining us tonight, everyone. Welcome. I can see a couple of people in the chat already. Shadu and Scotty Tompkins is there, probably wanting to hear about how his Blues beat the Catters. We'll get into that, Scotty. Don't worry about that. But we've got a big show tonight. Obviously, we'll review in some detail the Cats v Blues game in the Community Series last night. We'll talk about the Shannon Neale injury or non-injury. Do I trust the club? I don't know. I'm going to do some player ratings. Each of the players that played last night, I'm going to give them a score out of 10. But I'm keen to get your feedback on that as well. Tell me if I'm way off. Tell me if I'm being harsh, or tell me if I've got the love goggles on for a couple of players. Joel Selwood was named to the All-Australian selection panel for 2026, along with a couple of other bozos, but that's big news for Joel. He's probably perfect for that role, really. Dangerfield, some comments on Bailey Smith through the week, and lastly, I'll touch on some rule changes ahead of this season. So, Paul can't face the music. I don't know where he is, but he can't be here tonight, so he's not around. He's at a concert of some kind, anyway. All right, all that and more anyway on the Paul James Show for a third edition, I think, of the 2026 anyway. So yes, thanks to everyone in the chat. If you're joining us late, if you're watching on replay, don't forget, hit that like button. I don't know if you can smash the subscribe button, but that's what they say. Smash it anyway. Drop your thoughts in the comments as we go along tonight. If you're watching this on a replay tomorrow, let us know what you think about thought about the Carlton Geelong game, and what you think what's going to happen in the next few weeks with a few injuries floating around old Geelong town over these last couple of weeks and even in recent days as well. It's not been the best build-up, but again, it's only the start of the season, so we don't have to panic too much, do we? So anyway, let me know what you think. I'll highlight some of the best questions. Hopefully I'll be able to. I've got this little chat thing going, but it's not appearing just yet, so maybe it's not going to work for me tonight. Anyway, maybe next time. That's okay. All right. Let's get on with the show. Let's get on with it. So the Carlton and Geelong game. Yeah. Look, I don't know. Paul covered it on his review or match reaction video this morning, which he recorded before he started work. It's one of those games where I don't think you need to worry too much about the outcome. I don't think you need to worry too much about the style of footy that was being played. We're basically playing with 2/3 of our team and the 2/3 of the best 23 that were out there. We're just getting some K's in the legs, really. That's all it was about. So, but I think if anything, you take some positives out of it. You look for the positives. You don't worry about the odd miss kick or the 19-point loss, or potentially we worry about the Shannon Neale injury. We'll get to that in a second. Look, I was pretty happy with the performance. I mean, it was a bit of an ugly game, really. But I remember way back. I think we're a little bit spoilt these days, but way back you'd watch footy at the start of a season. It was rubbish for about 2 or 3 weeks until the players figured out how to kick a footy again after being on the beers all summer. But it's a lot more professional these days. I think it was ugly there for about for those middle two, the second and the third quarter. It was not good to look at, but we got through it, and good signs from Polkinghorne. Tanner Bruin is back, baby. He is back. Shannon Neale and Sam De Koning went through the ruck at times. I didn't see Blitzarves in the ruck a lot. He might have been in 1 or 2 contests, but it was mostly the younger fellas going through the ruck there. And obviously Mitch Edwards, the one I nearly forgot to mention there, he went through as well. So I'm not sure what the answer is there at the moment. Maybe you don't put Shannon Neale at a centre, a ball up, though. That might not be the way to go if you're worried about PCL injuries. But yeah, look, Jack Martin, he looked okay. Again, I'll cover a lot of this stuff in the player review. And obviously, check out Paul's video there. Look, it was, as I said, it's a bit of a tune-up. Would have been nice to split these two games, I suppose. Losing to Hawthorn's never fun. Losing to Carlton, they match up pretty well against us, and I guess they wanted to be pre-season premiers, so good for them. Bit of pretend silverware, and we were just kind of getting ready for Gold Coast in what is it? As of today, it's 8 days' time. I think we're playing on a Friday night, so we'll be ready to go. I wouldn't say we'll be cherry ripe with the time that game rolls around, but we should be. Hopefully, we should be getting a couple of players back. Hopefully it's not 5 of our best players out, because that won't be great. That would not be great at all. But anyway, let me know. What are you saying in the chat? Shadu saying, how quickly will the ruck changes be rolled back after a high-profile ruckman does a PCL? Yeah. I imagine there's going to be some tweaks to that rule in the next, maybe not this year. Hopefully, pun intended, a knee-jerk reaction's probably not necessary. But a high-profile ruckman or even more than one, I think we might start to worry just a little bit there. Gary O'Keefe says, if Brad Close gets a start against Gold Coast, the selection committee should be sacked. Jesus, there's a lot of hate for Brad Close out there. He's my former number one. Brad was my boy. But where's all the love gone for old Braddles? Where's the love gone for him? It's just harsh. Gary. It's not Gary O'Keefe. It is Gary O'Keefe. But yeah, anyway, Gary, I don't know. Look, Brad, show him some love. I don't think he particularly cares that much about the preseason, to be honest. He's not the best 5 players at the club, and he probably never will be. But he'll be one of those guys that plays a couple of 100 games for the Cats and will disappear off into the sunset, never to be seen again. And he's won a premiership, and he's a good club bloke. Yeah, who knows? I think I'm not giving up on Brad just yet. I reckon Brad's got a little bit more to go. The only thing that Brad drives me nuts about is he looks for Jezza too much instead of his other teammates, and it gets a little bit predictable, Brad, especially if you're the opposition. So, all right, but let's touch on the Shannon Neale injury. It's going to be a little bit of a quicker show tonight, and obviously a bit of a later start than normal, but just because I'm filling in, I'm going to try and keep this somewhere between half an hour and 45 minutes. But yeah, the injuries. Shannon Neale, we talked about the PCL thing. Sir Bradley Close, very good shitter. The PCL dramas, the Shannon Neale and the ruck, apparently it was a bit of a knock above his shin pad. Might have been a bit of bone on bone. Obviously it hurt, and he was in a lot of pain there. Thankfully, the reports coming out of the club is it was just a nasty hit and no structural damage of any kind. But we'll see. We'll see whether he's right enough to come up in the opening round, because if he isn't, that is going to be quite problematic, especially if Jez is not there. But even if Jezza is there, you can't imagine Jezza's going to come flying out the gate kicking 7 goals. That's not. I can't see that happening. I cannot see that happening. He hasn't had the best since that grand final with the arm. It's not been the best period for Jezza, so who knows? And maybe he'll be a slow starter as well. He's getting a little bit older. So, yeah, look, hopefully Shannon's okay. There's a lot of hype on Shannon this year, and rightly so. He's looked terrific in the preseason. I think he's just about ready to pop, maybe a year or two away. I don't expect him to kick an extra 20 goals on top of what he kicked last year, but he's going to significantly improve in terms of contest work. Bringing his teammates into the game, and I think you'll see him up and down the field a fair bit rather than just running out from the goal square and kicking a goal, which is the oversimplistic way to think about our forwards and what, how many goals did they kick? That's their value. So, I mean, obviously you want him to kick 50 plus, 60 plus goals, and that's the sign you've got one of the premier forwards in the competition. But if he kicks an extra 5 or 10 than he did last year, but he offers another 5 or 10%, and he clunks some of these marks instead of dropping them, well, not dropping them, but double clutching them a little bit. And sometimes that's all you need, really, as a defender. You just need the forward just to not quite grab it first time, and then you get a fist in there, or you bump them off their line, and then it's the ball comes to ground. So if you can take a few more of those, that'll be good, and he'll get there. I guarantee he will. Hopefully, we get more than 1 year where he's at his peak. Be nice to get like 7 or 8 or 10 years out of him where he's absolutely at his peak. Sometimes you're patient with these big guys, these rucks and these forwards, and they give you a couple of good years, and then they go back. Oh, I'm ready to retire now. I'm done. I'm absolutely done. So yeah, look, I'm not too concerned about Shannon. I think we'll see. We'll see what the next few days plays out. I think we'll get a bit of a sense of it over the next. What are we now? We're looking at Friday, 8 days time from now. I think we'll know middle of the week. I mean, obviously the Cats will keep their cards close to their chest in the lead up to that, but we'll see. But we've got Brian, who's I'm hearing, and if I'm not if I'm accurate on this, I did hear that he had a surgery on that thumb or that finger injury, whatever it was. So I'm hoping it's a quick recovery and it was a relatively minor surgery. Let's hope that it's not too bad for Grind, because I feel like he's probably one of our five most important players at the club. I'm not, yeah, I feel like when Grind clicks, Geelong clicks, and when he goes absent for periods of times in games, Geelong tends to go absent. So we'll get a good look at that if he's not there opening round, and if we don't play that well, or we just don't seem to have that piece of class or that connection. That may be one of the reasons why. But let me know what you think in the chat about how valuable Grind is to the Geelong side. I think the Geelong people respect what he does. I don't know if the AFL community rates him overly highly, other than him, being a little bit mildly amused about his kicking action. But I think Grind gives a hell of a lot to Geelong, and I think when he's not there, we really, really struggle. Henry looks like a skinny emo kid. Hunter Holmes doppelganger. Yeah, very good. Yep, that's about right, should do. Hello, Spartacus. Welcome to the chat as well. Anyone else joining us? The other one was probably, I don't know how concerned we should be about Bailey Smith. It's kind of one of those ones where he was a bit of a laid out with a calf injury. Are they just holding him back a little bit? Maybe. I feel like they probably are. But that is a bit of a concern if he's not playing as well. So, look, maybe they'll all end up playing. Maybe Grind will just pull a miracle out and he'll turn up, and Shannon Neal bobs up for 5 and Jezza kicks 7 and Grind gets the 3 votes and all this sort of stuff happens. But, yeah, he's out. Jezza, obviously, we've known about Jezza for a few weeks now with the quad and the delays with the arm feeling right. But hopefully, sounding more and more like Jezza's going to play. Reece Stanley, haven't sighted him really, other than running laps on the training tracks. I don't expect to see him anytime soon. But goodness me, I think we're going to need him back and doing his bit. They said in the interview that he'll be right and confident Jezza as well. Okay, that's good. That's good to hear. Thanks, Shadow. Tyson Stengel, as we know, we don't know a lot about the situation other than it's personal. So I don't want to speculate too much, at least not publicly anyway. Yeah, I have my thoughts, but hopefully the main thing is he's okay, and the club is clearly looking like they're wrapping their arms around him and giving him lots of support. So that's the main thing. And Colin Jasny had a bit of a run in the VFL on the weekend. We went down by a point to the Blues, but he's out there having a bit of a run and getting back in front of the camera again. We haven't really seen a hell of a lot of him, which has been a bit of a shame. So, Jagger is going to be an absolute beast. For Carlton, he looked good with his 37 touches. He's got one of these big heads, little bodies, though. It's a bit weird. But he'll go okay. Who cares what they look like? Doesn't really matter. All right, so there's some injuries there. Now, I'm going to pull up my player ratings. I'm obviously not as au fait with the technical side of the screen sort of stuff at the minute, only because I'm coming in late off a short run-up. So I'm literally just going to go off my screen here. All right, who played on the weekend? Let's talk about Polkinghorn, the big Polk. What name are we going with there? I'm calling him the, I'm going to go Polka Dot, but probably just Polks is nice and easy, isn't it? Look, probably not as good as his first up game against the Hawks, but still very impressive, and I'd actually be shocked if he doesn't play in the opening round. I think it's a perfect opportunity for him to have a bit of a look at it. A very good opponent in the Gold Coast Suns. I think it'll be quite a challenge for him if he gets a run, but if he plays in it, I'd love to see how he goes in a good Geelong team. I mean, you watch him at VFL level and he struggles to get involved at times, but when he's getting some delivery and a bit of service and it's pinging in there all the time, I reckon he could easily bob up for 2 or 3 goals. I wouldn't be surprised. So I'd probably expect, like with most debutants, that he may not do a lot, but I'm keen to see him get out there. I've forgotten what number we're actually up to now. The Incredible Polk. I like that one. Postorino. Welcome. I don't know if I've seen you in the chat before, but welcome. That is good. You won't like him when he's angry, though. You won't like him when he's angry. Is that what the Hulk says? I think he does. But Polkinghorne, I'm going to rate. I said I'd do my rating. I'm going to do each of them out of 10, and I'm going to be reasonably quick because there's a few of them. I'm going to give, and please note my votes are generally pretty harsh, but that's not a reflection on necessarily. I mean, even if we won the grand final, I'd probably still give some players sixes and stuff. I can give Polkinghorne a 5 out of 10. Bobbed up and did a few good things there, but yeah, just still probably just didn't get involved enough of it. But the ball wasn't getting down there heaps. Tanner Bruin was amazing, and I'm not surprised. I was telling everyone that would listen that he's terrific and he's going to blow us all away this year. I think he was amazing. And what did he had? Nearly 30 touches and just looked great, especially in that first quarter. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10. I think he was probably one of our best players, if not the best player on the ground. Toby Conway, no, goodness me. Are you kidding? No, Toby Conway. Shawnee Manor, restrained, I think is probably the way. I think he looked really good and showed a lot of poise at the right time, which was great to see. Looks strong, looks fast, and looks ready to blow the competition away this year. I think it's going to happen. I think he's going to be an A-grader this year. I'm very, very confident about that. Maxie Holmes, again, another one who looked good at times. Probably just was going through the motions a little bit. Didn't look too phased about it. I was pretty happy with what I saw, especially when he grabbed the ball out of the middle there and ran it about 20 or 30 metres and kicked a goal from 55. That was beautiful. That was great. I'm in the cheer squad, says Postorino. Need an incredible Polk banner. Can we make that happen? I'm gonna have to get Scotty. I'm gonna work on the AI. I'm gonna get some AI slop going of Polkinghorne. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. All right, moving on. Mitch Nevitt, meh. Sorry, Mitch. Meh, Nevitt for me. I'm just not feeling it. Gotta give me something, Mitch. I don't mean to be harsh, but what did I rate Max Holmes? 7. Mitch Nevitt, 5. I don't see it. I don't see it. Yeah. I hope he proves us all wrong. I know there's a lot of people that are big on him, but I'm just not seeing it at the moment. But I hope he makes me look like an absolute idiot more than I already am. He was very underwhelming, says Shitter. Yeah, I feel like he was, but yeah. Look, I think we all want the best. We all want him to be awesome. So let's hope he is. I don't want to run him down too much because I want to lift these boys up, but just didn't pass the eye test for me, unfortunately. Mitch Edwards, I think I was drinking the Kool-Aid on Mitch Edwards a little bit. I don't know. I wasn't completely sold on Mitch Edwards. Yeah, I'm going to give him a 4. He just looked lost at times. And, you know, not many times you've played against the level of competition that he's played against, but yeah, he looked a little bit lost for me. I want to see a little bit more. I was thinking he'd probably debut. He still might, but in opening round, but yeah, not too sure. Don't think we saw Jack Bowes, unless I'm absolutely blind and I didn't notice him. But I'll skip over Jack Bowes anyway. Apologies, Jack, if you did play. You didn't set the world on fire if you did. Pretty sure you didn't, though. Someone in the chat will tell me if you did. Jai Clark, very impressive, Jai. Obviously, a couple of mistakes, just running into a bloke when he's got his head over the ball. Probably could have done a little bit better if that was a game on the line kind of stuff situation. But yeah, pretty happy with him. I'll give him a 7 out of 10, actually. I was very impressed with what Jai did. Some overhead marking there was just incredible. It was great to see. Connor O'Sullivan, I wasn't expecting a lot from Connor, really. He's got a very mature head on his body from what I can see, and he didn't seem to push himself or feel like this was a life and death kind of situation for him, a game. A lot of the young guys, you could tell on their faces, I'll get to this guy in a second, but you could tell on their faces that it was like, oh, I didn't play the best game, and maybe I won't get picked for opening round, and I really need to get picked for opening round. But no, Connor was just like, it's just a game. I'm one of the I'm probably going to be in the best 10 players in this team this year. So he just went about it reasonably well. I'll give him a 6.5 out of 10. George Stevens played pretty well. I don't think he played bad at all. 40% of game time, I think he played, not a lot. I think he had a look on his face. This is probably why I'm bringing him up. He had a look on his face that he just was a little bit down on the performance. Maybe I misread it, but I think he was hoping to blow him away and to make the selectors pick him. Absolutely have to pick him for opening round, and they still may, but especially with Grind not being there and potentially someone, maybe Bailey's out as well, but he didn't absolutely make a certainty of it, which I was hoping that he would. So that's a little bit of a shame there. But if I'm wrong on that one, please let me know if you disagree on George Stevens. I didn't think he just did quite enough to make an absolute certainty of a selection. Sam De Koning, George Stevens, 5 out of 10. Sam De Koning, I'll give the number first. I'll give him a 6.5 out of 10. I think he did some pretty good things in a variety of different roles. Still a little bit ahead of Mitch Edwards, obviously, including in the ruck as well. I think I don't really want to see De Koning in the ruck all year. I'd rather we just find someone from somewhere else. But DK does his best work down back, but he does like to get involved in the play as well. So yeah, he was okay, I suppose. Lawson Humphries, give him the medal, best pre-season player. If there is a medal at Carnage Greaves night for pre-season player of the year, you got to give it to Lawson Humphries. He was terrific in the State of Origin game. And Paul, you didn't give him enough love, and you know it. And the people told you, Paul. And we're not going to live it. You're not going to live that one down all year. But Lawson Humphries was incredible, and it was just a throwaway comment about, oh yeah, Lawson was okay. Lawson Humphries was good in this game as well. I'm going to give him an 8 out of 10 in this one. I thought he was fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So yeah, please let me know, people, what you thought of Paul's comments about Lawson Humphrey in the State of Origin. Jack Martin just seemed to get the umpire's whistle all night. I don't know how he kept getting it, but he got it, and I think he ended up with a couple of goals. So good on you there, Jack. You did pretty well. We didn't see Wiltshire, I don't think. Obviously, Jacob Mollier, he's got a bit of an injury with the foot, so he wasn't there. Hunter didn't get a run this time around. Hunter Holmes, he was in the VFL, as was Lennox Hoffman. Jed Buse was warming up the bench pretty much all night. I don't think he got on the ground. Don't know what was happening there, but no Lennox Hoffman, sadly. Shadu is definitely the goat of this channel, and don't mess with Shadu because she'll boot you. No. Shadu's very fair and very reasonable, but we do appreciate Shadu being a bit of a mod on the channel as well and helping us out. So yeah, no Jed Buse. I'll give him a... Jed, I'm going to give you a 10 out of 10 because you did the best job you could have on the bench there. So full marks to Jed Buse. Justice for Jed. Let's hope Jed gets a game early in the season. I didn't see Harley Barker, obviously, coming back from the ACL, and Nick Driscoll had a run in the VFL. Ollie Dempsey, another one, seemed to be just taking it relatively easy on the night. Looked impressive at times. Just did enough, really, to probably have a run. I wasn't overly worried about his performance. I didn't think he absolutely shone either. I feel like he's holding a couple of things back. I feel like he's got another level to go, and I've been telling a few people this. I reckon he's going to... I'm reluctant to say it, but I'll be honest, I feel it. He's showing exactly what Gary Jr. showed at a similar age. I'll say it. I reckon he's got it in him to be one of the premier players in the competition. I don't think he'll have the career that Junior had. Well, he won't. I'll say that. But I think he's got it within him to be one of the best players in the comp, if not the best. It's a bit of a bold one there, but I'm a believer. I'm a believer in Ollie Dempsey. I believe. James Warple, get out of town, James. You're going to have to do something magical for me to fall in love with you because you come from the scum. And I know, I shouldn't. It's just a uniform. It's just another organisation. But you didn't really set the world on fire. Other people I have heard and seen in socials and on our Discord that said you went okay. I think even Paul said you went okay. Did Paul watch the game? I don't know. He says he did, but Warple didn't really set the world on fire for me. Maybe I need to stop being so hard on him, possibly. But just not feeling it at all. Tommy Atkins, he's a star. Oh, I didn't rate Dempsey. Hang on, go back, Dempsey. I'm going to give Dempsey a 7 out of 10. I'm going to give Warple a 5 out of 10. I'm going to give Tommy Atkins a 9 out of 10. Tommy was great. Actually, I can't give him a 9. If I didn't give Tanner Bruin a 9, I'm giving Tommy an 8. Tom was great. If he didn't have 10 tackles, he was like one off it. Getting heaps of the footy. Looked just great, and I just love what Tommy does in the preseason as well. If you get to go to a game up close and watch him, just the instructions that he's giving a lot of the younger guys, which is probably one of the few times that he gets to play with them in a game. He's great. He's like another on-field coach. He's terrific. So 8 out of 10 for him. Didn't see any Carlton Mattify Forbes or any grandmas. Shannon Neal. A bit of a Shannon Neely. Sorry, Shannon, but it was probably one of those games where you look like you could have tore it apart and you nearly did at times, but just not quite there. Just unfortunately, just early part of the year. Ball did look a little bit slippery in the dewy. I think it was a hot day and you could tell the players were sweating it up a bit and rubbing. They're trying to get their hands dry and just lacked a little bit of touch there. But and unfortunately, the injury meant an early night for him. So yeah, anyway, so I'm going to give him going to be generous and give him a 5. Probably close. I don't think he was that bad. Shane Mullen, good game from Shane. I'll start with a 6 for him. Give him a 6. I thought he looked really good. Nearly kicked another goal. Hit the inside of the post, I think. At one point there, running into goal. He was pretty good. I was very happy with his performance, and he's continuing to get better and better year on year. Patrick Dangerfield. Geez, if he plays a full game, watch out. He probably won't play much more than 60% of a game this year, I doubt. He was barely out on there. He was on there for less than a quarter. Just a quick run, just a quick jog around the park, really. That's all it was. So for what it was, I'll give him a 7 because, it was pretty good for the time that he was out there, and that's probably all we needed to see. And he went off early and had his Savaki. So possibly with a couple of potato cakes in a brown paper bag. So, yeah, there you go. Ollie Henry. Ollie, we need to talk. We need to have a conversation, Ollie. I'll start with some positives. He looks really strong over the ball. He's taking those hits a lot better. He's breaking some tackles a lot better. He's definitely put on not just size but strength. I really like that side of his game. You got to stop going for mark of the year, mate. If you take 1 in 20, that's not going to work for us. I mean, it looks great, and you'll make the highlight reel and all that, but it's not helping. And I just don't know where we're at with him. Will he get picked early in the year? Probably. I think the coaches believe in him. The coaches probably know a lot more about his game and what he offers to the team than what I do, and probably what a lot of others do. But I don't know. I don't see it. What's Spudica saying? Ollie Henry looked like he was impersonating a witch's coat at one point. Yeah. He did some good things, but there's some just the same old from last year. And how good was he in the prelim in 2024? So anyway, we'll move on from Ollie. I'm going to give him a 5. All right, Joe Pike, he wasn't there. Jack Henry, solid as always. Not much to say about Jack. He just gets the job done, doesn't he? So I'll give him a 7 out of 10 there. Looked really good at times, though, but just, does typical Jack Henry things, building slowly. Zach Guthrie was absent from the Hawthorn game with a bit of a sniffle of some kind, but he looked great as well. I thought he was quite impressive in his first proper hit out for the Cats this year. Love to see him in a big V next year. That'd be good if he can sort of have another year where he steps up and becomes that number 1 defender for Geelong. Will he be that number 1 defender for the Cats? Can he knock Tom Stewart off the perch? A lot of Cats fans say he's starting to become the next Tom Stewart, but will it come a point this year or next where he actually Tom Stewart takes a bit of a back seat to Zach Guthrie, the old Z-banger? Yeah, don't know. Polkinghorn is the go. Jack Graham, very good. Are you Jack Graham from the West Coast Eagles? No, you're probably not. But Polk is the incredible Polkinghorn. Killian Burke, did not see him in the game. Mark O'Connor was very good at times. Not best on player in the group, not best on, but he was good enough. Tom Stewart has all the time in the world. I didn't give Zach and Jack votes. I don't think I give Jack. I think I gave him 7. I'm going to give Zach 7 as well. I'm going to give Mark O'Connor 6. Solid game from Mark. Tom Stewart, I'm going to give a 7. typical Tom, maybe a 7.5. I thought Tom was really steady down back and just did everything he needed to do. I'm going to skip this bloke for a minute because I want to have a bit of a long conversation about him, but I'm going to jump to Mark Blitzarves. Just love the bloke. Quite one from him. Love the bloke, but I'll give him a 6.5, or maybe even a 6. Just didn't see a lot from him, and he'll be good. He'll be good for the run, and he'll come back better. And he's coming back off a limited sort of pre-season, really, so hasn't done a lot of match play. But yeah, anyway, so let's come back to Brad Close. Brad Close was our worst player, says Gary O'Keefe. He's up on Braddles, everyone. Just ease up on Braddles. I don't think it really matters, this game. We don't. I think you're probably thinking too harsh on him last year, and I don't know what it is. Why are we all down on Brad? Like, is he going to have this year where... Remember we were all down on Brian Myers a few years back? You remember that? Remember what Brian turned into? Brad's starting to come into his prime as an AFL footballer, so it's probably, for me, it's one of those things. Yeah, look, I wish Brad could do more sometimes in games, but I'm actually just waiting for him to become the supreme, the ultimate Brad Close, or the supreme Brad Close. I don't think he's far off it. I don't know if he'll get there, or if it's just the same Brad that we've seen. He's very consistent, the same Brad we've seen for the last 5 years, possibly, but wait and see. Anyway, so that's that. All right, we'll skip over that. Where am I? I've lost my stuff. Hang on. Bring it back up again. There we go. All right, so there's my ratings. Brad, I'm going to give Brad a 5. I'm not going to be too harsh on him there. All right, so Joel Selwood selected as an All-Australian panel member or selector of the All-Australian with, I think, Hodge and some other bloke. I've forgotten his name. Freo bloke. Mundy? No, not Mundy. Might have been Mundy. So he'll be there. But, yeah, Joel Selwood couldn't really do anything else in the game. Didn't win a Brownlow, but finished on the podium a couple of times. I think he had how many All-Australian Guernseys did he get? A whole bunch, anyway. Brad is busy running his 1930s gang, and there's more important shit to attend to. Yeah, or he's living in a haunted house with Morticia and everyone else, the Gomez family, Adams family. I love Brad. I love him. I'm not going to stand for negative Brad talk. But yeah, Joel Selwood, All-Australian select. There's probably not a lot to say there. I mean, a couple of players. I think Pavlich might have left for Sydney and went up north, so he couldn't really commit to that anymore, and a few others sort of stepped away from the role. Gomez, Adams. Couple of quick one on Danger's comments on Bailey Smith. I don't know if you want to blow this up too much. I'm not really looking into it too much. He was asked a question about, as all the Geelong players do every single time they get a microphone put in front of them, what do you think of Bailey Smith? Ooh. And Danger's like, well, he's going to be okay. He hasn't had the best off season ever, but I think Danger loves him like a little brother. It's like, mate, just keep it under control. But I don't think Bailey would have been upset by anything he said. I don't think we need to look into it too much. Bailey's just going to do what Bailey does, and hopefully, as long as Geelong keeps winning, I can't see it being a problem. If we start struggling and it becomes a bit too much of the Bailey show, and when it's a bit more of a knuckle down time and let's get serious about our footy, then we can have that conversation. But at the moment, let's just have a bit of fun. Let's just have a bit of fun, I think. I don't think we need to panic too much about that. All right, last one of the topics for me tonight was just a couple of rule changes heading into 2026. So I'll quickly touch on this. Obviously, the one that's the big one really in the news at the moment is the no centre bounce anymore. The traditional bounce has been removed, and the start of all quarters and restarts after goals will be a throw up instead. So I think in the long run, it's probably the right thing to do. There might just be a bit of a tweak in the rule just to protect these rucks. I don't know how it's gonna look, but we don't want to go back to those days where we were seeing heaps of PCL injuries because rucks would just clash with each other. So I don't know if it might look a bit weird if you told the rucks just to stand on the line toe to toe and jump at the ball directly upwards rather than running from 5 metres out and colliding with each other. That's probably completely changing what a ruck looks like in the AFL, but it is probably the safest way to go about it. I'm not saying that's what we need to do, but it's something to think about maybe. The substitute is gone. That has been changed as well. We've scrapped it. Now we've got a bench with 5 players sitting there warming it, and that'll be interesting as well. So no super subs, no resting a bloke. Well, you still can, depending on how in control or out of control the game is. Or if you just want to manage players and you're prepared to sort of run with 4 players on the bench, who's to say that's not going to be? It may not be the end of the world if that's what you chose to do. We may decide to play back Danger off the bench for half the game and bring him on in bursts, and that's how we roll. In a perfect world, that might be great. We might find that doesn't work after a while. I think you'll see 15 to 20 weeks of experimentation with different clubs on how that's going to work. What is this? Bailey Smith, I can't make the game. I need someone to pick me up. You can't drive. I got it crazy in the off-season. Yeah. Sort yourself out, Bailey. But I don't think we need to worry too much. But maybe just do the speed limit. And if you're that worried about your animals, maybe don't go out for that long. I guess you've got to train. I guess there's no way around that. All right, no requirement to start a player in the goal square. That's pretty straightforward. I think the amount of times players were getting warned about the 666 rule. It's like, can we just not worry about that anymore? Even though there was a warning on the last night about that. I'm like, how hard is it to get inside forward 50? Goodness me, people, get organised. But it's early in the season, and they're not quite there drilled just yet. Don't need to start a player in the goal square anymore. Last disposal out of bounds between the arcs. I thought we'd see a lot more of this, but we haven't. I guess to me what it's saying is that teams aren't using the boundary in the pre-season as much as maybe what they would have throughout all of last year. So just that's one to keep a watch on. I think it will quicken up the game significantly. Shadu underrated comment. I've lost that one, Shadu. The posts from Danger where Bailey is tagging along like other kids are hilarious. Yes, sorry, that is pretty good actually. He's like his little another old son. Weird. The last disposal out of bounds, kick awarded against the team that disposes of the ball, not last touch, but disposes of the ball between the 50-metre arcs. The insufficient intent rule remains as well. So we'll see how this one plays out over time. I like this rule, though. I think it's been working in the women's game and it's been working in the sandful, so I'm confident this should work pretty well. The centre ball up ruck restrictions. Rucks can't cross the centre circle. There was a bit of an issue about that the other night, but I think the umpires will work that out and the players will work that out over time. I'm not too concerned about that. You can't cross the centre circle, but I don't really know what that rule's about. It doesn't seem to be too much. No ruck nominations, whatever. Just get on with the game. No big deal there. You can't shrug a tackle. It's deemed prior opportunity. I think we started to see the umpire blowing some whistles there, but I think they're not super confident with that yet. I think there was a couple where they might have missed them, so we'll see what happens there. I haven't really noticed any of the stricter stand rule enforcement yet. I haven't seen any 50 metres paid or anything like that, so we'll just wait and see some controversial decision gets paid. The kick in from a point, I think it's down to 8 seconds now from 12 seconds previously. Again, probably haven't noticed that players just getting on with the game, and it's whatever. You probably notice it on the clock at the end of the quarter, but I don't think it changes a hell of a lot. How many behinds are kicked in a quarter? Probably 6. You might save a couple of seconds here or there, but often players play on quickly anyway. So even with 12 seconds, they want to get the ball moving. That incentive is always there, really, unless the defence is doing their job. But I guess overall, though, the intent of the rule changes is to reduce overall match time. I think it's well intended. Hopefully it does cut out a little bit of dead time there, and hopefully it makes it easier for the umpires to adjudicate. But we'll wait and see on that one. I'd love to hear what the umpires have got to say on that as well. All right, so we're on to the Cats versus Gold Coast, as I said, in about 8 days' time, as we're going live with this video tonight, 7:10, People First Stadium. It's on free-to-air, so that'll be good. I think there'll be some likely debuts, possibly Jay Polkinghorne, James Warple, you'd imagine. Obviously, he's played footy before, but for the Cats, you imagine he'll probably line up. And then you've got Mitch Edwards, who's a bit of an outsider's chance, depending on whether we've got Shannon. If Shannon Neal's not in there, you think, we might need another tall. So we'll see. I think it might depend on whether Shannon Neal gets up as to whether Mitch Edwards plays. So But if he's going to get a game, it's probably now without Reece Stanley running around. So who knows? Maybe I'm underselling Mitch Edwards a little bit. Maybe he will. Maybe it's an obvious in for a debut. But I feel like Polkinghorn's ready to go and will get his opportunity there. The Incredible Hulk. Unlikely to play or in some doubt. We've mentioned these before, but Brian Mize, Jezza, Bailey Smith, Shannon Neal, Reece Stanley, and Jake Collar-Jasny. I don't expect to see all of those. I expect we'll probably get some, but maybe half. I don't know. It's. I mean, no one does know, do they? So yeah, it's a tricky one there. But anyway, look, I did say I was going to keep it pretty short tonight. I will. I am going to Ed Sheeran tomorrow night, so it's going to be a bit of a late one. As I said, Paul's off at the Wiggles tonight, doing the hot potato in the aisle. I think he's left his kids at home. I think he just loves the Wiggles and just wanted to go. He must have got a free ticket because he doesn't pay for anything. We know that, even though he's got his little super box and all that. He probably is sitting in the it's not at Marvel because Ed Sheeran's doing his Marvel thing tonight. But where is the Wiggles concert this evening? I don't know. But anyway, he's probably got a Skybox or something, or a corporate box anyway, and he's knocking back beers and champers and all that in there. So I hope you're having fun there, Paul. I hope I've done a reasonable job of hosting the show for you in your absence tonight. If you haven't already, I'll give him a plug. Check out his match reaction video from the drop this morning, and all of his player preview videos, which I think we're down to one more. The Brad Close one dropped today, and the Mark Blitzarms one drops tomorrow, which is the last of them. So, Paul, he's done about 44 of these videos. Absolutely incredible. I don't know how he did it. I think he's cooked though. I think he's burned himself out doing it. Don't forget the Discord. Thank you, Shade, for the Discord there. Don't forget to subscribe as well. If you get a chance, and he's a good friend of the channel, Craig from Yank on the Footy. I was on his show the other day. It's more of a podcast than a YouTube show, but check out his podcast, Yank on the Footy. I had a bit of a sit down and chat with him for about an hour, a week or so ago, roughly. We talk about the Cats in a great detail and my hopes and dreams for 2026 with the footy club. So as I said, yeah, tomorrow is the Mark Blitzarves video. Monday night is our Chaps, but we'll probably do a bit of a Royal Rumble because we're going to try and get all five of us on at once. It's one of those few times a year where we do that, the Hoopies Awards at the end of the year, and a bit of a season preview. We try to get us all there as well. So Monday night will be either a Chaps episode or more of a sort of a hybrid type episode. We will preview the season, maybe talk a little bit about where the channel's going as well, so we can clue you in on a bit of that and keep you involved in what we're doing and what we're thinking and what we're hoping to get out of this year as well. We are definitely, I can tell you now, we're pretty keen to get 3,000 subscribers this year. We're about halfway between 2 and 3 at the moment, so we're keen to sort of knock that one off in the first part of the year if we can. But thanks to everyone who has signed up over the off season and anyone who's sort of been with us on the journey since we came together a few years ago now. We appreciate the love and support you've given us along the way. I put out a tipping video the other day, and I'm going to start putting out my tipping videos every Wednesday night. I think I'll probably record it on Wednesday and then drop it on Wednesday night. It's probably a good time to drop it. Some of the teams will drop it by that point, so I'll be able to give my thoughts on at least the first couple of games. But I'll share all my tips, and I'll probably, before the season starts. Actually, no. What is it? Wednesday? No, it'll be the first one it'll be the first show where I'll actually be able to give my tips. So I'll do that one as well. But check out the tipping strategy or the expert tipping guide that I put out the other day. And then Thursday, Paul will be back with the Paul James Show ahead of the Cats' first game of the season against the Gold Coast Suns the day after. So that'll be one to watch. And I imagine there'll be a post-game live on that Friday night as well, but yet to confirm with Paul. Thank you to everyone who's joined us in the chat tonight. And as I said, everyone who's watching this on replay as well. If you're tucked up in bed, in your Ninja Turtle pajamas and you're having a bit of a sleep and you're watching this tomorrow or you're listening to this tomorrow, I tend to listen to these shows. Well, not all the shows, but YouTube content. I tend to just put my earbuds in and while I'm working, and I've got a premium thing, so I just. Now I'm sounding like Paul and his la-di-da sport rich kid thing. I've got my YouTube Premium. Look at me go. But no, that's how I do it. So yeah, thanks to everyone. Use the Discord link in the chat there. Join the conversation after these chats as well. It's a good community that we've got going in there. Everyone has a bit of a laugh. It's a safe place as well. So or at least we try to keep it that way. So come along, have a chat about the Catters, and we'll welcome you with open arms for sure. All right, that'll be me done, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. Go Cats.